dear students, welcome back to our CLE Society's KK English Medium School Chikkodi. Dear students, in last class we are learning about the chemical properties of acid and bases. So we are going to continue the same thing in today's class. So dear students, now we are going to do some another activity to understand the chemical properties of acids and bases. So dear students, as I told, again we are going to do one activity to understand the chemical properties of acids. Okay dear students, so what you can observe here, this is one of the beaker which is full of water. Then later on what I am going to do, whether I need to add acid into water or water into acids. Let us understand this concept because this question can be asked in the reasoning form. So dear students, this is one of the activity where we have to take 10 ml water in a beaker. Okay, so this is the volume of water into the beaker which is about 10 ml, and you have to add a few drops of a concentrated H2SO4 to it and swirl the breaker slowly. Okay, so you have to be stir it. Okay, stir it. How you have to stir it? You have to stir it very slowly. Okay, so you have to be stir the beaker very slowly. Why? Because acid is very concentrated. Okay, this is the concentrated H2SO4, you can say highly concentrated acid. So touch the base of the beaker. Okay, so try to touch it, the base of a beaker. So just try to touch it. What you can observe here, so as this is the concentrated H2SO4, so what you can observe here, so is there a change in a temperature? Is this an exothermic or endothermic process? So dear students, exothermic process and endothermic process, just recall it. What do you mean by the exothermic process and endothermic process? Recall it when we have what we have learned in the first chapter, that is the chemical reaction and equation. Okay, whether it is absorbing the energy or releasing the energy. So just recall it, so you will get the point. So here exothermic process means releasing the energy, endothermic means it is releasing the energy, okay, absorbing the energy. So this is the process of exothermic and endothermic. Okay, so what you can observe here by doing this activity, let's go for the observation. So this observation, dissolved an acid or a base in water is a highly exothermic. Okay, so exothermic means here it is a releasing of energy. What you can observe here, it is a releasing of energy because it is a highly exothermic. As well as you have to take care. Okay, so care must be taken while mixing concentrated nitric acid or sulfuric acid with water. Any one of the inorganic acid, if you are taking in the concentrated form, so we have to take care of our parts of our body. Okay, because it is very highly concentrated in nature. Okay, as well as the acid must always be added slowly to water with constant stirring. So dear students, always keep in your mind, always add water to acid. Okay, not acid to water. So this is the wrong method. Okay, this is wrong method. So what you have to do, you have to add water with constant stirring. So how you are going to stir it? With a constant stirring. So what happened here, the avoiding of releasing of energy you can do here. By continuously stirring you can avoid the releasing of energy. So if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns. So if you are adding water to concentrated acid, then what happened? The heat is generated and may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns. Okay, so here the breaking of the glass also can be done. Why? Because here it is a releasing of energy, high amount of releasing of energy takes place. So the glass container may also break due to excessive local heating. Okay, so as you know, the heat is producing here, so what happened? The glass container may also break. So how you have to add water? You have to add water slowly. How? With the constant stirring. With the constant stirring you have to add water into acid. So this is the basic concept we have learned today. Okay, so activities are with the sodium hydroxide pellets with the record your observation. So another activity we have to understand the concept. So the warning sign on the can of concentrated sulfuric acid and on the bottle of sodium hydroxide pellets. So what do you mean by this thing? So mixing of an acid or base with water results in decreases the concentration of ions H3O, or you can say OH minus per unit volume. So dear students, if we are mixing the water or base with concentrated acid or base with water, then what happened? We can decrease the concentration of acid or base. So dear students, this is called as a dilution method. In the dilution method, what happened? You can decrease the concentration of acid or base. So here that is a different concept to calculate how means for 10 ml, for 20 ml, how much concentration we want to do it. There is a different calculation. At present you do not have any calculation to understand the dilution concept. Just you have to keep in your mind, dilution process is nothing but the water is added to decrease the concentration of acid or base. So here the sentence is in it is on the screen, that is, such a process is called as a dilution and the acid or the base is said to be a diluted. Okay. So the mixing of acid or base with water results in decreasing in the concentration of the ions, that is the H plus ions and OH minus ion per unit volume is called as the dilution process. So here this is the image, this is the warning sign that concentrated sulfuric acid or a sodium hydroxide pellets you do not have to be touched, because it is a very highly exothermic in nature. So we have to be care must be taken at this situation. Okay. So here some acids and bases uses we have. Let us understand and focus on the uses of acids and base. So where we are using this sulfuric acid, sulfuric acid is used to make a fertilizers. Okay, fertilizers where we are using for better crop production, but to get a better yield we are using fertilizers, dyes, chemicals, plastics, fibers, detergent, explosive and the batteries where we are using the sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is nothing but the strong inorganic acid. Next is the nitric acid is used to make another type of fertilizers, explosive, that is the trinitrotoluene, that is TNT, dyes and the plastics. So almost all the acids have a same characteristics. So at the place of sulfuric acid, nitric acid, you can replace it. And next is the hydrochloric acid is used to form dye. Dye means color. Okay. And in textile industries, food and leather industries, removing metal oxides films from the steel objects. So if the metal oxides is forming on the steel objects, we can use this hydrochloric acid, because hydrochloric acid is very concentrated. Next is the sodium hydroxide is used to form a soap or paper fiber. Okay. So this sodium hydroxide where we are using to form a soap. Okay. And next is the calcium hydroxide, which is the base, is used in a bleaching powder. Okay. So dear students, the bleaching powder concept we have in the last part of this lesson. So we are going to more focus on the chapter, because some of the reactions are there. So I will show you how to solve such type of reactions. Okay. So these are some uses of acid base. So now let us discuss the acid and base in absence of water. Okay. If the water will be not there, then what happen? A dry acid does not dissociate in hydrogen ions. Okay. It can't be dissociated, because for a dissociation process or for dissociating the items of hydrogen of acid, we need to take a water. So when we dissolve it with water, then it shows the acidic behavior. Okay. So acidic behaviors when it is shows when the dilution process occurs, or you can say when we are taking with the water to dilute the acid or base, then it shows the acidic or basic behavior. So, for example, dry hydrochloric acid gas does not change the color of the blue litmus paper to red because a dry acid does not dissociate it. So, dear students, the question can be asked whether the dry acid is dissociated or not. Okay, so here what happens? The dry acid it will not going to be dissociated, because for dissociation process we need to take water. So, hydrogen ions will not going to be dissociated, and this is because the moist litmus paper is used to check the acidic or basic characteristics of gases. Okay, so where we are using this litmus paper to use the check of acidic and basic behavior of the gases. Okay, so similarly at room temperature what happens? Sodium hydroxide in the form of solid. So as a solid, NaOH does not dissociate it into hydroxide ions. So when we dissolve with water, then it shows the basic behavior. So dear students, for showing the acidic and basic behavior of acid and base, we need to take a water, otherwise the properties will not going to be, it won't be showed up their properties. Okay, so for dilution of water it is necessary. Okay, so this is the main thing we have to keep in our mind, that for getting the acidic and basic behavior we need to react with the water, we have to dissolve with it into a water. So this is the acidic and basic behavior of water. So now we have a one question with you. Why does an aqueous solution of acid conducts electricity? Okay, what is the main question we have? That is, charged particles are responsible for the conductance of electricity in acid. So these charged particles called as ions are the reason behind the conductance of electricity in acid. So as you know this thing, that the solution, it means the water is dissociated the ions. So for moving the charges, it can be takes place in the solution. So it conducting the electricity. So this is the answer. So why does dry HCl gas does not change the color of the dry litmus paper? Because for getting the acidic properties we need to take a water, but here we don't have any water formation because it is a dry HCl. Okay, so the answer is with you, that is HCl does not give out hydrogen ions, therefore HCl does not show any acidic behavior and color of the litmus paper. So this is our answer. So as we have discussed, so some of the questions we have to be analyzed and we have to be only to search the answers. Okay, so how is the concentration of hydronium ion, that is the H3O, affects when a solution of an acid is diluted? So here we have an answer, that how the concentration of hydronium ions is affected. So here what is the effect in a hydronium ion when the acid is diluted? So acid is added to water, there will be a fixed amount of hydronium ion present in the fixed volume of solution. So if we dilute the solution, hydronium ion per volume of solution decreases. So dear students, here what is the effect means? If we diluted the solution, the hydronium ion volume of solution decreases. So then it turns into decreases and the hydronium ion concentration in the solution. Okay, so here what happens when we are adding more number of water, then it going to be decrease it. Okay, so the volume of solution it going to be decrease here. Next question is with us, that is the how is the concentration of hydroxide ions affects when excess base is dissolved in a solution of sodium hydroxide. So if the excess base will be there in the solution, then what will be the effect? So the answer is with you, that when base is dissolved into sodium hydroxide solution, its hydroxide ions increases, but it will reach saturation at some point. Saturation means after that point the dissolution will not going to be takes place. So that is nothing but the saturation point. Okay, so after saturation point, hydroxide ions concentration is not affected. So by adding the base further, okay, it's not going to be show any effects after adding extra or excess amount of base. Okay, the next question with yours, that is why do HCl, that is the hydrochloric acid, HNO3, that is the nitric acid, and show acidic behaviors or acidic characters in the aqueous solution, while solution of compounds like alcohol, glucose do not show acidic behavior. So, just to think this question. So, here the alcohol and the glucose, it is not possible to release their H plus ions. So, here HCl and HNO3 having their H plus ions. So, release of H plus ions in water will make a compound acidic or non-acidic. So, acids are substance which upon dissociating with water result in production of hydrogen ions, and some of the compounds show acidic characters as they dissociated in the aqueous solution, which results in the production of hydrogen ions. So, as you know that HCl is releasing H plus ions, HNO3 is releasing H plus ion. So, here this they are showing the acidic behavior. Then what about the glucose? Glucose is the C6H12O6. So, here they will not going to release their H plus ions, or alcohol is nothing but the OH group. So, they will not going to be release their H plus ions. So, here this is the difference. And as well as the compounds similar to glucose or alcohol do contain hydrogen elements, but they do not show signs of acidic nature. They have a hydrogen atom, but they are not going to leave their hydrogen ions. So, the fact that the hydrogen in them will not separate as like the hydrogen in the acids, they will not separate to become a hydrogen ion. So, as we have discussed, they will not going to their hydrogen ions on dissolving into the water. So, that is why HCl and HNO3 they will going to show the properties of acid. So, dear students, till now we have completed some basic activities of acids and base. Again in next class we are going to discuss some more few concepts related to acid base. So, till now just stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Okay dear students, let us meet in the next class. Have a good day. Bye bye.